Hey guys, welcome back to Arry The Stag. It's another week in Triumph Stag City, so lots going on this week. We had an eventful weekend with Alan at the Welders. Many of you will have seen the debacle of various bodged repairs on the wheel arches, so that's now behind us. We've ordered some more panels from Rimmer Brothers and they'll be on their way later this week, so I hope to be reporting back next week once we've dropped them off to Alan to see what he can do with them. In the meantime, other work is going on the Stag. The engine, as you know, is ready to be worked on. I'm probably going to have to get to that next weekend now, I think, for timing chains and heads and everything else now that the bolt has been restored. But I also just wanted to share with you a couple of things that I've bought recently. One in particular, which was the dashboard. I've been looking at the dashboard online. I have got a friend who's a French polisher who probably could have helped us, but probably was going to be quite a labour of love given the quality of the wood. Unfortunately, it's all stuck in my shed at the moment, so I can't actually show you the dashboard, but I will just show you what I have ordered and been delivered fairly recently, and you might have a view as to whether you want to use this or not for your Stag, but I thought it'd be useful to share anyway. So by the magic of video, we've cut to the cardboard box that was sent through to us recently, and I'll slowly reveal what was inside with regard to our dashboard. And let's just open it up and take a look. I have opened this before, just to let you know, and there were one or two issues, but otherwise it's a very clean set of stick-on bits of wood, actually is the best way to describe it, which look real professional. I think I'll just lay it out so you can see what it's like when it's in its full glory. So the impression I had when I first opened this was wow, doesn't it look really glossy. It's a lovely deep kind of Burr Walnut, almost mahogany kind of colour. Got a beautiful touch and feel to it, kind of glossy finish as well, and I think this is going to make our Stag absolutely pop when we get it into the cabin. As Harry has said before, I think it's important that we don't skimp on the cabin and really make the best out of the investment where we're going to see it most in our Stag when it's back on the road. So okay, this was a few quid, whatever it was, 80-90 quid I think it was, but we've got a complete set of dashboard adhesive kind of bits of wood that we can now put on our dash when we get around to it later on in the refit, even down to the center console here and various other items, including the radio console, that is, and the air blower fits in there at some point, and so that's all good. We did have one slight technical hitch, and I'm very impressed, I must say, with the company who sent this through. They are very good indeed, and one of the issues we had was the fact that the tape that was used to stick down some of this foam backed stuff actually got stuck on the bits of wood themselves. So I've managed to rub off the worst of it, which was along this line here, but if you look here, I've left deliberately a little bit left. There's a bit of the tape here that got stuck on the most important bits. So you can see there I've got some sticky stuff, and I'm just going to show you an Arry The Stag top tip for removing this, because I got alarmed initially, but didn't need to be when I remembered my sales training from the 1980s, and I'll just show you what that is. Alright, so I suspect you're all wondering how on earth does sales training relate to cleaning dashboard pieces. Well, back in the day in the 1980s, I was actually a merchandiser for a well-known national company, and my job was to go around changing window stickers in shops and hotels and restaurants and all sorts of things. So they taught me a trick which was very simple, and that's this. You either look after and find some lighter fluid or even methylated spirits, and you grab yourself a bit of a rag, and the two together actually remove this horrible sticky glue, which, if you imagine in the summertime in some of the shop windows I used to go changing badges over in, then in fact they used to get brittle and really baked on after years and years in direct sunshine. So I'm just going to give it a little rub and see if I can show you on camera without jittering the camera too much away. I think you can begin to see it starting to come away very gently, and all it is, methylated spirits does just the same job. You might need to use a bit more because now it's sticky and it's actually spread it a bit, so just get a bit more Zippo in this case. Lighter fuel, any lighter fuel or methylated spirits, as I say, will generally get that off, and I think you can see there it's beginning to come off, and almost a polished finish. Probably just needs a little bit more work. but saves hours of using scrapers or sharp metal implements, which no doubt would damage the acrylic on here. That wouldn't be desirable at all. But I think you can see there we've actually got quite a nice finish, and it has all gone. So there we are. Good. Okay, job done. This is the company who sent the items through, and I must admit Carol there was a really great advocate for the company. A variety of instructions here on how to fit these here parts to your dashboard, which I'll read through in just a second, but it comes all together. In this case it was a 7-piece dashboard trim kit for a Mark II Stag. I do believe they do lots of other dashboard trim kits for lots of other cars as well, classics and so on. Basically, as it says, just need to thoroughly clean the surface of the dashboard or parts onto which the styling is going to be fitted, and that white spirit would be good to do that, just to make sure it's clear. And use a hairdryer, simple as that, to dry the surfaces. And then what you need to do is remove these panels off the backing paper here, which has obviously got glue and sticky on it, and then stick that carefully onto the panels that you want to overcome, including, so I guess these are for screw heads and stuff like that too, so you'll get a really good look at those when they're on the car. And then once it's gently positioned, then you press firmly onto the prepared surface, especially at the edges and the corners, just to make sure that you've got a complete seamless fit. And then after that, gently warm the panel with a hairdryer and continue to apply pressure, just using a clean soft cloth. And then I note they say for you to leave it for 24 hours. And it's also advisable to black edges of walnut and the area that it's going to be placed on if the original plastic or wood is a lighter colour. So just make sure that it gives a more solid look. So I'll know more obviously when I get ours out of our shed. It's under a pile of other Stag stuff at the moment, but basically on the top there you just need to be making sure that the flat surface that it will abut to on the top here is the same colour, and obviously make it darker because then it makes it look a lot deeper. Okay guys, so that's about it for today. Before I finish off, just to point out that that technique that I just showed you for the dashboard parts, you can actually use on any window, whether it's an old sticker that you're trying to get off a windscreen, or a window that's been there for donkey's years and it's all got cracked and brittle and whatever. Little window scraper, you know, the ones with a little Stanley knife in, just to scrape it lightly, very carefully. I wouldn't use it on that obviously because that would damage the acrylic, but you can quite easily use that on glass. And copious amounts of methylated spirits and or lighter fluid will always dissolve that glue away, and it will come up really looking nice and without any damage, especially if it's kind of perspex or something like that that you want to protect. So there you go, it's a little top tip from Arry the Stag, but it's stood me well down the years. I might even finish off with a photo of me back in the day just to show you. Meanwhile, I've actually wrapped this all up nice and neat, and that's going to be tucked away safely until such time as we start to refit the car. I'm just trying to buy stuff as we go along here to work towards the end goal. So much going on at the same time. It's quite exhilarating, quite fun, great journey along the way. And Carol was fantastic at the company that sold us this, which is really good. Recommend them, highly recommend them. Good. Okay guys, don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Facebook is taking off as well. We've got a good Facebook feed now. Arry the Stag, just look us up on Facebook and join us. And no doubt we'll see you online all very soon.